Hello, class. We are entering into week 5. Could it be already? Yes, it is week 5 of this final block. And let me zoom in a little bit so we can take a good look. All right, so here's what you have for this week. We are starting Unit 3. Hopefully you finished up Unit 2 last week and got that exam taken. If not, use the study guide available in Doc Sharing, okay? These exam study guides, I have them all uploaded here, so make sure you're downloading those study guides and using those to help you prepare for the exam. Okay, week 5, unit 3, called spending money. So what this unit talks about is we discussed different expenses in the first unit when we set up budgets for Kathleen. So now we're going to kind of categorize those expenses and discuss fixed expenses, flexible expenses, fixed variable expenses. So we categorize all of these different expenses in our budget so that if we ever need to make cuts, we can figure out where we can do that at. So we'll go into more detail with that tomorrow during our Class Connect session, but I just want to go over a few things with you regarding what you have to do this week. So first of all, we have this discussion, controlling expenses. So just read up on that and put your 2 cents in on the discussion board. Next, well, then you also have this tutorial. There's an avatar about a person wanting to buy a house and asks for your suggestion on how you should go about doing that. A little game about financial emergencies. And then you have this interview assignment about financial emergencies. So that's what I want to talk about now. I have for you a template for how I want you to complete this assignment. So this is how your paper should look. You should have an introduction. Okay, your introduction paragraph should tell me who you're planning to interview and why, as well as what expectations you have going into the interview, what you hope to get out of it, just a short introduction paragraph about going into the interview. Your body of your paper should have 7 to 10 questions. Your text has some questions for you, which I went ahead and put in. I just kind of reworded them a little bit because I didn't really like the way they had them worded. But so I have your first 3 questions filled out for you, and then you add in several of your own. So you should have 7 to 10 questions total. And the person you're interviewing, you want to make sure it can be like a friend or family member, or a friend of the family, an aunt and uncle, whatever. But make sure that they know ahead of time what they're supposed to be talking about. It's regarding a financial emergency, so you'll read up in your text on exactly what that is. But it's something that either, it's something, how do I want to word this? That they financially might not have been prepared for. So a lot of times it could be a health issue or a car breaking down or credit card debt swirling up and out of control. So that's a financial emergency where they had to either go into make a lot of cutbacks in order to get out of it, or that's what I want you to find out. I want you to find out what their situation was and what they had to do to get out of it. So make sure this is someone you're close with, not a random stranger, because a lot of people don't like to talk about this stuff. So find someone that that will be willing to talk with you about their financial emergency and be able to open up to you about that. Okay, so you have 7 to 10 questions that you should be asking. When you're writing the responses, you should be talking in your own words. So I don't want you to write, I asked Mrs. Jones what her financial emergency was. Response. Well, my financial emergency included when my daughter broke her arm. Okay, put it in your words. So you should be saying Mrs. Jones's financial emergency began when her car broke down, or whatever it was. So make sure you're putting it in your own words. And then the conclusion paragraph should be summary of some of the main points. So maybe some of the top 3 or 4 things that kind of stuck out to you in this interview. And then I want you to tell me exactly what you're taking away from this interview experience. So again, what stood out to you? What are you going to do to prevent this type of thing from happening to you? All right, so this is a great assignment because the best way to learn this kind of stuff is to learn from other people's mistakes. So that template is there available for you in Doc Sharing, and I'll probably email that out today as well. Then we also have a fixed expenses quiz, a couple more things, and that'll be it. So join us tomorrow during our Class Connect at 11 a.m. where we're going to talk about categorizing our expenses and probably go over any questions you have regarding this interview assignment. All right, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.